Seoul turned into a sudden center of tension when BTS's Jungkook's emotions reached their peak amid an unforeseen incident. What should have been a calm afternoon in the city's hotel district suddenly shifted into a moment of crisis. The question now is, to what extent can fan behavior be considered an act of affection? And when does it cross the line into a violation of someone's personal space? No one expected that on that day, Jungkook's anger would become the focus of global attention. Not because of a concert, not because of music, but because of neglected privacy. According to sources at the scene, Jungkook had just left his private recording studio where he was preparing new material for an upcoming project. Accompanied by his longtime bodyguard, Mr. Lee, he was walking quickly toward his waiting vehicle. However, several overly bold individuals suddenly appeared from a narrow alley, approaching with cameras flashing and voices repeatedly calling his name. Jungkook, who has long been known as a patient figure who rarely shows emotion in public, seemed startled. In an instant, his calm expression shifted into a tense gaze that was impossible to hide. Witnesses said the atmosphere suddenly changed like an unscripted scene. Mr. Lee, a figure known for years as BTS's most disciplined protector, immediately stepped forward. His movements were firm but controlled, creating distance between Jungkook and the violators. He didn't say much, but his tone alone was enough to make those around them back away. Within seconds, the potentially dangerous situation was brought under control. There were no shouts, no violence, just cold stares and a clear warning. Enough is enough. However, even though the situation appeared contained, the emotional impact of the incident did not fade easily. For Jungkook, such a violation was not merely a technical disturbance, but a form of disrespect toward boundaries that should be preserved. Privacy is not a luxury, but a fundamental right. In an entertainment industry as massive as K-pop, the line between love and obsession has become increasingly blurred, and that day, that line was undeniably crossed. Hours after the incident, armies around the world reacted strongly. Social media platforms were flooded with emotional comments, most expressing anger and concern. Phrases like "protect Jungkook" and "respect his privacy" became global calls filling timelines on Twitter and weverse. Yet beneath the wave of support lay an important question. Why do such violations keep happening? Does fame automatically erase one's right to live without disturbance? Mr. Lee, known among fans as Jungkook's shield, once again proved his reputation as an irreplaceable figure. For years, he has rarely been seen speaking in public, but his presence has always been a signal that the BTS members are under the right protection. His actions that day reaffirmed something the public often overlooks. Protection is not merely a professional duty, but a form of loyalty built on discipline and respect. He does not simply work for security. He safeguards the humanity behind fame. Sources close to the production team said that Jungkook chose silence after the incident. No comments, no public reaction, only calmness on the surface, though everyone knew that calm came from deep exhaustion. He is not someone easily swayed by emotion. So the moment he truly appeared angry became a sign of how serious the situation was. In a world where every move is recorded, every breath captured, the boundary between the stage and private life has nearly disappeared. This phenomenon is not an isolated event. In a broader context, what Jungkook experienced reflects a structural crisis that continues to haunt South Korea's entertainment industry. Cases of privacy violations, stalking, and unauthorized photography have significantly increased in recent years. Many cultural analysts argue that media globalization worsens the situation, opening space for international fans to follow every activity of their idols without ethical control. Ironically, the love that was meant to protect has instead become a trap. Amid the storm of attention, Mr. Lee's actions became a symbol of rarely discussed discipline. He did not seek attention, nor did he crave the spotlight, but his presence sent a message. Someone must be brave enough to say enough, even in a world that demands everything be public. His firm stance that day saved not only Jungkook physically, but also preserved the dignity behind an idol often treated as if he has no personal space. Jungkook's anger that day should not be misunderstood as a mere emotional reaction. It was an act of self-defense against a system that slowly erodes the human identity behind a celebrity figure. He was not angry because his popularity was disturbed, but because his right to feel safe had been taken away by those who claimed to love him. In every tense expression and every hurried step toward his car, there was an unspoken message. Fame is not a reason to lose the right to be human. Public reactions did not stop online. Fan communities from various countries, including Indonesia, Japan, and the United States, launched digital campaigns calling for respect toward artists' personal space. Posters and solidarity messages flooded the internet, not only to defend Jungkook, but to affirm a greater principle. Boundless love should never erase boundaries. In Korea itself, several fan forums issued internal statements urging community members to stop sharing photos or videos from the incident. This step reflected a new level of awareness, that protection does not come only from companies, but also from responsible fans. And on the other hand, the incident reignited an old debate. How far can entertainment companies guarantee their artists' safety in this era of digital openness? Are firm actions like those taken by Mr. Lee enough to stop the ongoing wave of violations? Many believe that security systems must go hand in hand with public education. Without cultural change, protection will remain only a temporary solution. That day, in the narrow streets of Seoul filled with flashing cameras and curiosity, the world was reminded once again that the line between love and invasion is thinning. Jungkook, in his silence, delivered a message louder than words. He loves his fans, but he will not allow anyone to break through the walls of his privacy. And Mr. Lee, standing beside him, became the embodiment of firmness that needs no official statement to be understood. When night came, the atmosphere on social media began to calm. Jungkook appeared briefly in an online interaction, his face calm though clearly concealing fatigue. Not a single word about the incident was mentioned, yet his faint smile was enough to reassure millions of fans. Behind that calmness, a moral message lingered. Every form of love needs boundaries to remain pure. This incident is not the end of a journey, but the beginning of deeper reflection on how society treats public figures. Jungkook may not have said much, but his attitude spoke volumes. He demanded nothing more than the right to walk without fear. And Mr. Lee, who once again proved his professionalism, became the representation of firmness born not from power, but from respect. Now, the biggest question left is not about who is at fault, but whether the world is ready to learn from this event. When the line between admiration and invasion grows increasingly blurry,